Was that real?
Oh yeah, no, I mean it was there. I don't know if it's real.
Yeah, I know, right? He's a hip. Well, him being a black vampire is already hip.
I mean, half vampire.
Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. He's still a vampire.
It matters deeply.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It does matter. Also, we're live.
You bastard. Wait, what part did you go live on?
We've been live for like a minute.
Oh, okay. So we got to talk about Blade for a bit. All right.
Yeah, we talked about how you hate black vampires, blackulas.
I didn't blackulous. I didn't say that. I don't even know what I said.
That's fine.
Yeah, I just think it was funny that like the Blade VHS cover or whatever has the tribal tattoo, and I had no idea he had.
All right, bitches, let's do this.
Do you remember the Blade TV show with that guy that was not Wesley Snipes?
No.
Yeah. There was a Blade TV show.
It was on Spike.
That was the men's network, right?
That was.
Man.
Or is, you know.
Still is, right?
Yeah. All right. So, hi, welcome to the NOLAnerds.
We started?
Yeah, we started a while ago, buddy.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's awkward.
Not really. We just heard Josh talk about blackulas. I mean, it's fine.
That's fair. All right, well, I'm willing to make a post about it then that we're starting.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so our regularly scheduled show has been kind of derailed at the passing of Stan Lee. Happened earlier this week.
Oh my God, there was a Blade TV show.
Yes, the House of Chaton, something like that. I've never seen it, but I kind of want to.
And he had tribal tattoos.
Yes, that's the style. That is the style of the Blade.
I don't understand. It has a 50% on Rotten Tomato.
That's shocking.
That means 50% of the people who watched it liked it.
Yeah, that's how math works.
Extremely low.
Is that how math works?
It sure is. But if we could all focus up for a second,
it could have been 2 people that watched it.
Yeah, that's still how math works.
One hated it. And one person liked it.
You can't do anything about percentages. That's just how it is.
If an even number of people watched this show,
yep,
and liked it and hated it, there's just nothing.
There's nothing you can do. That's math. I can't do any more for you.
Oh, the guy who played Blade, his name is Sticky Fingers.
That's not real.
No, it is real. This is.
So if we could all focus up for a minute.
Yeah, the rapper.
So, yeah, Stan Lee, the last living link to the golden age, the creator of so much that he has 3 Wikipedia pages of characters he created.
Is he really the last of the golden age? Aren't people like Walt Simonson still around?
He was a Silver Age and Bronze Age man.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Dang. But yeah, then I guess you're right.
Yeah, I'm talking like you know, Siegel and Schuster, that level of golden age.
Gotcha. Okay, then yeah.
Yeah, I think he might have been the last from that era, and he created 2 pages of Wikipedia characters for us.
Which is it, Chris? You just said 3.
Yeah, well, shut up.
And like the greats, like because there's Bob Kane's already gone, Bill Finger a long time ago.
Yeah.
And Kirby's gone. Ditko went, right? I'm almost certain Ditko died. Yeah, it's gonna be Silver Age now. It's the oldest people that are around.
And some of them have already gone too. Yeah, so
where's Liefeld on this?
Liefeld is a modern age guy.
Yeah, he's 90s. Come on.
Yeah,
at no point do we consider. You know what?
He is because in the 90s that would be like calling.
So
yeah. Anyway.
So in addition, we've got a full range of Stan Lee coverage to talk about today.
Yes.
Before we do the big thing, which is we're going to go through all his cameos.
We will be ranking his cameos.
Yes,
live.
I wanted to talk about him as the comics creator, and I have 3 segments for you. Number 1, I have picked 5 characters that I was completely stunned that Stan Lee created.
Okay.
I want to see if you guys also are kind of as stunned as I am.
All right.
So,
is it Hulk? Because I'm not surprised.
No. Trust me. I went. Some of these are pretty deep. Number 1, Batroc Zelipea.
Oh yeah.
Does that surprise you?
A little bit. I kind of thought Batroc was a little
from that
later
era, and he's just that level of ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true.
It did, because I'm pretty sure, didn't he also create Stiltman?
Maybe. I didn't write him down because I found some other weird people.
He was not on the list.
No.
He did. He did create Stiltman.
That's amazing. Number 2 is Dreaded Dormammu.
Okay.
Cool.
I kind of figured he was done with Doctor Strange after he just wrote out Doctor Strange on a cocktail napkin and handed it off.
You know, I figure half of what Stan Lee did was basically like that premise of how Pixar started. He was just at a coffee shop one day. And he's like, a man of ice. Cool. It was, you know, you kind of envy him in a way, because he came up at a time when literally there was no competition and nothing had been done yet. So anything you could think of, blank man, blank woman, and you were done.
Yeah, and you call yourself a DC fan.
I'm just saying.
Well, like, yeah, he's kind of like when you read about Greek philosophers and stuff, and it's like, well, you guys got to like invent everything.
Yeah.
like I remember I was in some class, a poetry class, and it was like Sappho, and one of the earliest Greek poets, and the teacher goes, yeah, Sappho is actually the earliest recorded poem about a moonlit evening. And I was like, you lucky bitch, it didn't even have to be good.
Yeah, you just write
it. Wouldn't that be nice to be the first person to write about the moon? Jesus.
Number 3, Ego the Living Planet.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised at the amount of characters he created out of the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Well, as we'll talk about later, Fantastic Four was his longest running work.
Now, Chris.
Yes.
I don't think he'll be on your list, but I feel like you should give the most respect to Stan Lee for creating your favorite Marvel character of all time.
Oh, I hope it's Absorbing Man.
Fin Fang Foom.
Fin Fang Foom is number 4.
Yes.
Okay.
Immediate praise forever. And number 5, probably the one that shocked me the most, the Purple Man.
Really?
Oh, wow.
But then you realize that he created all the superheroes that they're the villains for. Like, I feel like he created them, and it wasn't until people 40 years later decided to pull a Jeff Johns or a Brian Michael Bendis, and go, oh yeah, this guy was used in a one-off 16,000 years ago. I'm going to actually give him a personality. Because like Bullseye first started as a joke one-off character, and it wasn't until someone brought him back years later and made him terrifying that he became popular. I feel like that's the MO for like most of Stan Lee's creations.
I think it is worth mentioning that most characters have 2 creators.
Yes.
There's the one who creates them, and there's the one who defines them. And, you know, like, for example, Stan Lee created Magneto, but really Chris Claremont made Magneto what he still is.
Right. Yeah. Like,
the same thing with the X-Men, though. I mean,
yeah,
entirely. It's basically a Chris Claremont book.
But Stan Lee created them in the first 20 issues, so
yeah. And just like Chris Claremont also created Wolverine, even though he did not make him up. Like the guy who was writing Hulk made him up, but he was going to be originally an actual Wolverine who had been evolved into a man. His claws were in the gloves. It was this whole thing. Like none of the things we know about Wolverine were a part of that character when he first showed up. Claremont made all of that up and made him a mutant and everything else. So, you know, you're right. There's defining, but there's also stuff where like he did make up Spider-Man, and I think in the rush to get Kirby and the artists enough credit, he's sort of started to get slag on more than he deserves. Because if you look at like all the drawings that Kirby turned in for Spider-Man, they're garbage, and they're just Captain America over and over again. Like, he's got a shield and a helmet. He looks like the shitty sequel Captain America from the old 70s, like the 80s movie.
Nomad.
A motorcycle helmet on. Only he's red and blue and has a gun that shoots webs.
I gotta find these pictures.
And so there's a certain case of like he made up Spider-Man. He picked the right guy, and then his designs for it. And then the artist then made up just the story in the comic, and then he would write on top of that. It's way more of a back and forth. So you definitely have to include everybody when you talk about who made those guys up, because then it's basically Lee and Ditko, I believe, made up Spider-Man.
Oh man,
Yeah.
Kirby and him made up the Fantastic Four and a bunch of most of the other characters. But it's like he's the common denominator here. He's a fucking machine. He's just spitting out random shit, and also he's competing with DC. DC does something. He kind of started that where like the company would come to him and go, DC just put out a team book. We got to have a team book. And he'd be like, all right, the Fantastic Four. It's like a family, and they got powers. And they're like, great, give it to somebody.
Pretty much. And you know what? Again, so awesome that you could live in a time where you could do that.
Yeah, he just throw out some words, and that's right. But like, he also would be like, what if he could stretch, Jack? And so he's like I'm sitting here, I wanted my coffee earlier, and I couldn't reach it. And I thought to myself, what if I could just stretch my hand out? And he's like, yeah.
I'm living for Doug's impression of what he assumes a young Stanley sounds like. Just like a poster child for an emphysema, the people that talk out of their throat with the cigarette.
Well, have you heard him? He's got that old, New York.
Yeah, he's from like Queens.
Yeah, he's got like Queens.
All right. So, Chris, what was your next part? You said there was 3 facets.
Yeah. So we have to talk about what he actually wrote.
Okay. Because after you're done yours, I have a section I'd like to dive into. I did some prep for this as well.
Okay. So he wrote. He talked about the characters he created. Listen, these are some of the comics that he spent the majority of his time on. He wrote 100 issues of Spider-Man. He wrote 120 something issues of Fantastic Four. He created the first 20 issues of the X-Men, the first 20 issues of Silver Surfer, 50 issues of Daredevil, 35 issues of the Avengers. And he was still writing, and this is claimed, I don't know how accurate this is, he was still writing the Spider-Man comic strip.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
As of this year. And when we used to go to the comic shop and get the comic shop news.
Oh.
They were always in there. And they were not great.
No, but they were time capsules.
They were also there's also nothing you can do in 3 panels.
Yeah. and I mean, look, it's not like Charles Schultz was pumping out gold toward the end there. You go look at the first Peanuts comic strips, right? They're fucking hysterical. You understand why they got popular at all. It's they're pretty dark too. Like they're mocking Charlie Brown hard. He is a loser.
He is a loser. He deserves everything he gets.
He's a loser and doesn't pretend like it's not that cutesy 60s shit with the Christmas special stuff, right? He's literally just getting shit on, and it's hilarious. But then by the end, it's just like there's not even a joke. There's just like a 2-line conversation. Yeah, between 2 kids, and it doesn't even have a hook to it at all. Family Circus, I'm sure, started out funny. So, for 3 strips.
I refuse to believe that.
Yeah. All right, but yeah.
So, and finally, the last thing we've talked about his Marvel contribution, and there's very little of his DC contribution. He did the Stan Lee creates the DC universe, which was weird to say the least. And
we kind of already saw it because whenever DC did something, he would get told to do it, and then he'd have to.
But like his version of the Flash was a weird Asian woman who was a ninja.
Yeah, the ones he actually did were rando. Because his version of Batman is Daredevil. It's really there is. This guy, he doesn't even know he's talking about Batman. He's not blind. He doesn't have sonar. I'm making that character. Let's go. Yeah.
But his biggest DC contribution is being Funky Flashman, who we've seen him in Mr. Miracle very recently, and he showed up when Kirby went to DC the first time, and basically is just a huge parody of Stan Lee being this kind of con man who works for Darkseid. So I think Jack was working through something there.
Yeah.
But Funky Flashman persists to this day. So Stan Lee's DC legacy is secured.
Funky Flashman?
Yes.
Chris. We have Kogasu in chat.
Hey.
He's looking forward to learn a lot in this episode because he doesn't know a ton about specifically what Stan Lee created. And if you don't mind me jumping in, I thought I could introduce my next segment. Unless you had more about what Stan Lee drew or wrote.
Nope.
Okay.
That's all I feel it's worth mentioning.
I tagged you guys in the Wikipedia article that lists all of his creators or all of his creations.
Yes.
And they're listed alphabetically. And I thought it would be fun for all of us to pick our favorite person he created by letter, because there are just that many he created that there are so many to choose from for every letter of the alphabet.
Okay. I'm game.
Do you have it up, Doug?
What do I have up? Sorry,
I sent it to your Facebook. It's the Wikipedia list of all of his creations.
Oh.
So Chris and I will go first, and then you guys can join in. So we'll start with A.
Yes.
And I think it's. Are we gonna let teams be part of this, or do we have to pick specific characters? Because A has Avengers. And I feel like that's a little cheating.
No,
Characters.
3 characters.
I think for A, I'm gonna give it to Ant-Man.
I think Ant-Man's the only.
Hey, you could go Absorbing Man. Everyone loves.
Say that. I am going with Absorbing Man. I think Absorbing Man is my favorite character because not particularly because of what anything Stan Lee did, but because other writers have made him. Really
we're not going by what Stan Lee provided the character. We're just going the character that we love today, and it only exists because Stan Lee made him 50, 60 years ago.
That's what I'm doing.
Asbestos Man?
Asbestos Man. He doesn't exist anymore. His superpower was slow burning cancer.
Mesothelioma.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about Ariel.
Pretty great too.
All right. So B. Oh, Chris, is it Batroc the Leaper for you?
It is Batroc the Leaper.
You love that fucking character. I'm going to give it to Boomerang because of all the ridiculous characters, he has had the biggest resurgence in just being a D-list hero played up for laughs with Superior Foes of Spider-Man and the current ongoing Amazing Spider-Man where he's actually Peter Parker's roommate.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
I like Black Widow on
Boomerang is great.
Black Widow would probably be mine.
See, they got Black Panther, Black Widow, Black Bolt,
Black Knight, yeah.
Bluebird, if you're a fan of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, yeah.
And Black Panther, yeah.
Come back because of the show.
Chris, you don't like Brother Voodoo?
I'm not a fan.
That's funny.
All right.
So for C.
Oh.
C. Let's see. You got Captain Marvel, the Carters, both Peggy and Sharon. I'm gonna give it to going over C. Cyclops, my boy Cyclops.
I like Peggy so much. Anyway. Yes, I guess it's Cyclops. I mean,
yeah, Cyclops.
Is Cobra the team or is it the
That's a good question. I don't know.
Click the link.
There's Clown.
The name of a number of different fictional characters.
I'm also giving it to Cyclops.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The D is insane.
Yeah, D's kind of stacked.
D is,
but I will give it to Daredevil.
Yeah, I don't know.
Followed shortly by Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom is on that list. He's the greatest hero of all.
He is the greatest hero. He has an entire comic book series where he's dedicated to being a hero.
Yeah. Okay. I'm giving it to Doctor Doom, the best villain.
The best hero. You keep misspeaking, Chris.
Yeah. Although Dum. Anyway, yeah.
Dum Dugan.
Yeah. E, not his best work.
I don't know what you're talking about. We have Ego the Living Planet.
Okay.
And Electro.
And Electro.
That's it, though. It's not like...
no. You also got Executioner, Thor's buddy.
Yeah.
Who was played perfectly in Thor Ragnarok.
Which one? Enchantress. Yeah, okay. An Executioner. I mean, but yeah, I think that goes to...
I'm actually, based solely on the movie interpretations, I'm giving it to Executioner.
Yeah.
What's his face? Who is Judge Dredd?
Yeah.
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban was so good as Executioner.
So good you can't remember his name.
Hey.
I like Ego.
Shut your mouth.
It's done in the movies as far as that's concerned.
That's pretty good.
Also, I love that when you have the thumbnail of Josh and Doug, it's half of each of their face, and it's just focused on the wall behind them.
Look at it.
I'm giving my vote to Electro.
Now we got F. F is another big one.
Yes.
I know Chris is Fin Fang Foom. That's not even a fair contest.
No, I love Fin Fang Foom, but I think the best character, my favorite to come out of it is Jane Foster.
Really?
Purely based on the Thor run.
Yeah. I like Nick Fury.
Yeah, Fury.
Yeah, my money is going to Nick Fury specifically because of the Secret Warriors series that what's his face did. Jonathan Hickman.
Can't remember.
Jonathan Hickman.
I don't know. I think I'm the one that's going to end up ironically voting for Fin Fang Foom here.
Hey, at least someone did.
Yeah.
G is another big one.
Yeah.
Mostly because of his Galactus, Giant Man, Groot.
There's
Gray.
Giant Man and Goliath are both on here.
Groot's on this.
Yeah.
Groot is on that.
Yeah,
but you know who else is? Googam and Gorgilla.
Jean Grey.
And also Goom. Who doesn't remember Goom?
Goom. Good old Goom.
Weren't they all just giant Titan villains that fought the Fantastic Four?
Yeah, like all of the giants, he started them with G.
Yeah.
I'm giving it to Galactus.
Yeah. Galactus or Groot. That's my...
Yeah.
All right, ready for H?
Kirby.
I know Josh's is Hawkeye.
Yeah, Hawkeye.
Now we also got Human Torch, Hulk, Happy Hogan. You got Hercules. You've got Heimdall. And Chris's favorite, Hela, with her stupid headdress.
I'm giving it to Hulk because I'm really into the Hulk right now.
I
really what?
Hawkeye too.
I'm really into Hulk right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to Hawkeye.
Okay.
And moving on, we got I. And
Pretty brief.
I give it to Iron Man by default.
Yeah,
just
Iron
has
Man.
to. I mean,
I give it to Iceman because I've always been fond of Iceman.
Yeah.
You would. Chris, so what? No, never mind.
Oh, man.
I was going to make some bad ice joke.
Yeah, don't do that.
I think JJ wins this one.
All right. No, J is so easy for me because it will forever be J. Jonah Jameson.
He even in his name wins the letter.
Yeah.
I am completely torn because I want to give it to J. Jonah Jameson, but I also really love the Juggernaut.
Yeah.
Yeah? Is it the Juggernaut, bitch?
No, it's just Juggernaut. Shut up.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to have to give it to J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah. Great. It was a great character.
Kay's got Kraven the Hunter.
I know.
Well, his name does start with K.
Yeah.
I know.
Based on that, I'm actually going to mix it up a bit and give it to a character that most people don't even know who he is. I'm going to give it to Karnak.
I do love Karnak.
The best of the Inhumans.
Mentok, the Mind Taker. Yeah, Karnak with his big old head. I like it. I also liked Kazar back in the day, but I'm going Kingpin actually.
Ooh, good one.
I'm going Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah, Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's the third of the new Spider-Man movies.
I really hope so too. Like if we went from Vulture, Mysterio to Kraven, that would be the perfect trifecta of villains that haven't gotten put in a movie yet.
And all three of them solid Sinister Six members.
Exactly. Plus the Hunt is one of the best storylines.
Yeah, and because these guys have already, faithfully reproduced my favorite series of Spider-Man panels, and I think a lot of people's, where he's crushed by the debris. Like, I feel like that was a big sign that they give a shit and know the books and are gonna, without being slavish to it, pay on it. So I think they would actually do the Hunt as decently as they could. Probably a little bit better.
All right, now L. I'm gonna give it to Lockjaw.
Yeah,
everyone's favorite teleporting space dog.
I am also giving it to Lockjaw.
Sorry, Loki.
It sucks because Loki and the lizard's on it, but Lockjaw. Lockjaw. I gotta say,
I know plenty of people that would be really mad that we didn't say Loki right now, but it's Lockjaw.
Lockjaw wins.
Yeah.
All right, so M, you have to continue on the next page because it's not comprehensive. Oh my God, M is so long. Oh my goodness.
There's Man-Thing.
Whoa.
Wow.
I got to give it to Magneto.
I was going to say my gut reaction is Magneto, followed very closely by Mysterio.
Yeah, I like Mysterio on this list.
But I'm going to give it to Magneto because he's just done so much, and I feel like out of so many characters, he's had the best arc. He's almost like Doctor Doom in that he's one of the greatest heroes.
Yeah, he's both. He's been both so many times.
Yeah.
And like at this point, he's been made more subtle over the years to the point where you kind of get him now as he's like almost an alternative to philosophy as opposed to just being a supervillain. Of course, he does go crazy and kill a lot of people every once in a while, so he's still a villain. But same thing with Doom. It's a thing.
He's right to an extent, and then he starts murdering people.
Yeah, well, it's the tragic tale of becoming your own enemy.
Yeah,
becoming the monster you're trying to fight. And I think it makes him a really cool villain.
Yeah,
it's one of the most understandable arcs I've ever seen.
Now, N is a very small one, so I'm going to give it to Foggy.
Yeah,
Foggy
Toad.
Any man who will eat a Limburger cheesecake with his bare hands gets my vote. Foggy.
Yeah. Chris loves that. There's a single panel in the reboot of the Daredevil comics, and it's just Foggy gets a Limburger cheesecake, and he just digs. The next panel is him digging into it with his bare hand, just shoveling it in his mouth. And it's never mentioned
at this point.
It's never mentioned. It's never discussed. It's just on the panel, and it tickled Chris so pink that it will never not be one of his favorite moments.
Yeah.
It's purely the only reason why I like Foggy Nelson so much.
Wow.
I'm going to give it to the Osborns.
Yeah, I was going to say
Norman.
Harry
over Dr. Ock.
Yeah. I'm giving it to Doc Ock.
Doc Ock.
So Doc Ock got a big bump through Superior Spider-Man and the Spider-Man PS4 game, but I love Osborns.
I like specifically the comic book versions of Harry and Norman. I thought they're just amazing to me. He does another good arc too. It's just I remember when I came in on Spider-Man years and years ago, it was like in the middle of Norman losing his mind. Yeah. Harry losing his mind. Sorry, I'm starting to see Norman everywhere, and that was still just awesome to me. All right.
All right. So P, I'm giving it to Purple Man. What a creepy villain! Like this was clearly defined by Brian Michael Bendis, but my goodness.
Yeah. Well, we can't give it to Hank Pym. He's the worst.
Can't give it to the.
It's like Beast in the Beast. You just can't.
Well, I already gave it to Ant-Man. I can't then also give it to Hank Pym. That's cheating.
Right. Give it. Yeah.
I give it to the Purple Man also.
Who's winning?
Quicksilver. I think Quicksilver wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, Q is Quicksilver because I don't know that Quasimodo exists in comics.
Anyway,
he doesn't even have his own wiki page, so clearly that's not a real thing.
It doesn't actually link to anything. Let's see.
So for R, I'm going to give it to Franklin Richards Reed Richards' son, who can create his own realities and universes.
Rhino. Fuck that noise.
I'm giving it to Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah?
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, S. S is the second biggest after M.
S is tough.
Yeah, S has, okay, I'm going to go through all the possibilities that I might get. So Sandman, Scarlet Witch, Scorpion, the Sentinels, Sentry. That's Chris's favorite. She-Hulk, Shocker, Silver Surfer, the Sinister Six, the Skrulls, Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I mean, that I think by default, that gets it.
You win.
Gwen Stacy, Stiltman, Baron Strucker. Yeah, it's Spider-Man.
Shocker.
It's Spider-Man.
Let's do Shocker.
No, don't
Give
be
it
a
to
contrarian.
Stripperella, you cowards.
Give it to the Supreme Intelligence.
Yeah. The Marvel Sandman. No.
Number for T, we have for me, it's probably Thor.
I'm giving it to the Thing.
You are?
Oh, Thing, yeah. Thing for some reason beats Thor for me.
Now, if I give it to Flash Thompson, does that by default mean I give it to Venom?
No.
Okay,
No,
it's Thor.
Thor.
For you, I'm giving it to my boy Uncle Ben, the only person to stay dead.
Yeah, Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Mad props to Uncle Ben for staying dead.
I'm giving it to Uatu the Watcher.
Yeah,
Yes.
you would, Chris.
Yeah.
All right, V.
Both.
I'm gonna give it to Vanisher. He was great on X-Force.
I'm giving it to Volstagg the Brave.
Yeah, I was gonna say somebody's gonna give it to Volstagg.
Everyone's favorite fat Viking.
Yeah. He's so great. And I'm not real thrilled with giving him credit for creating like Loki.
Wonder Man.
Because that's you didn't.
He did.
I'll give him Volstagg.
It's on the list.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with that.
Well, anyway, W.
Wonder Man.
Is it Wonder Man for you?
Yeah.
It's Mary Jane Watson.
Mary Jane probably as far as
Nah, fam. It's Warrington the Third. My boy
Worthington?
Angel. Yeah, Worthington.
Worthington.
He's the second my runner-up.
Kogatsu put my favorite Uncle Ben quote in chat. Kill them all, Peter. I remember that meme where someone took that scene from the first Spider-Man movie and wrote "Kill them all, Peter," and the caption said "DC Spider-Man."
Oh yeah.
He also created Wong. That's kind of fun.
Nice. For X, it's since we're not doing groups, I guess it's Professor X by default.
Clearly, Zemo. He started all of Scientology.
Yeah, Zemu.
Yeah. By default, it's Professor X.
For Y, I'm going to give it to Yondu because I can't give it to the Yancey Street Gang.
I'm giving it to Ho Yin Sen.
I think Yondu.
Ho Yin Sen.
Chris, who is Ho Yin Sen?
He is the guy who was with Tony Stark when he made.
All right, just making sure. I thought you were just picking it to be a butt.
Nope.
And finally, for Z, giving it to Baron Zemo.
Oh,
yeah, by default.
So, does anyone want to say something personal about Stan Lee before we move into our big debate discussion topic for this episode?
I don't know. He's gonna be missed.
I've been thinking about him a lot recently. I don't have any of these fond memories because the comics that I read were not his comics. He created them, but the comics I read were written by other people. So he was always just kind of this benevolent grandfather figure who showed up in literally every bit of Marvel media to be like, I'm still here.
Yeah.
And that's oh, sorry. Please.
And I was gonna say my thing is just.
Well, I don't think Chris is done yet.
Okay, that's what it was.
And
looking at it, sorry.
It's been kind of interesting to think about the sheer scope of his legacy and everything that he's accomplished in his life, and he lived to almost be 100 years old and was still doing stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy to think how active he was still in the industry
in his later years, and
then he also got a lot of movie cameos.
He got a lot of cameos, and
well, that's my thing for it, but I'll let Doug go first.
I was just going to say my own personal experience with it. It's similar to Chris in that it was well after he had stopped writing the books. But he was, I want to say, one of the editors when I started reading comics, and he was still writing the Excelsior letters.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Most of the books, like once a month, you got a letter from Stan in every book, and that was my first experience with him. And then him hosting the premiere of like the X-Men cartoon and stuff like that. Yeah. And so he's always been a character in my life that's directly connected with comics and with Marvel specifically.
Yeah, and as much as there's this negative thing dealing with the treatment of the other artists and him claiming other work, he is, at the end of the day, he is still like, he is Mr. Marvel.
Yeah,
he is Marvel Comics, and
yeah, that's always my take on it, Josh. After you're done, let me know.
Oh no, that's it. Yeah,
it's because growing up, it's like I never read Golden Age. I didn't read comics until 2005. But I knew all of his creators, and even I knew Stan Lee was a big deal because of the TV shows that I watched, the cartoons. But even though I never read his work, you didn't have to appreciate it, because he wasn't just Marvel. He was like the face of comics.
Yeah,
he was what people that don't read comics knew about comics. And when they thought the comic creator, like when he died, my mom messaged me.
Yeah.
Like, did you hear Stan Lee died? He was that kind of person for the industry.
Yeah.
That everyone knew about. And I feel like his love for it came across so earnestly. You know what I mean? Like, he felt genuinely just tickled pink that people took these creations of his from 40 years ago and were turning them into global juggernauts. And he was just like, cool. You know, he never felt overly protective of him. I can't recall of any scenario where, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, where he came down and was like, you can't do that with my character. Turn Iceman gay, not on my watch.
Well, that's actually a good thing, because Anthony Oliveira on Twitter is he's a queer teacher of English literature, and he talked about how tickled Stan Lee was when he heard that Iceman was gay. He's like, he's gay? That's great. When did that happen?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, he doesn't feel like, I can't picture DC being that open with their characters. If a single person at DC had created everybody, I feel like their culture would have embraced one person to be very restrictive about him. And maybe that's me just projecting what I think the difference is. But Stan Lee was just so happy that all of his creations were so big and beloved.
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes when he gets talked about like selling out the other guys, I think it's just because he was never going to not play ball. There's like like Marvel goes, hey, look, we own all this stuff. We don't have to acknowledge you at all. But if you don't talk bad about us and you'll be in everything, we'll talk about you all the time. It's like, all right.
Look at the treatment of his collaborators, and look at him. Like, look at Ditko. Ditko was a weirdo who used original pages of Spider-Man as cutting boards, and was just a kind of an odd duck. And then Kirby, who never quite got the recognition he deserved in life, but they've made their amends, I think.
I think so.
So it's kind of fascinating to see like the kind of power he wielded.
Yeah, that's right about the playing ball thing. If you in that industry, that was the smartest thing to do, and you had a lot of people who weren't playing ball. But to make a comment about like Stan Lee allowing his characters to actually be whatever, it's really looking at the time frame when they were writing all these comics. This was a great outlet for these writers and for these artists to actually have a political message without having a microscope under it and being claimed like a part of like the communist movement or being read. So, when you're doing X-Men, you're talking about the civil rights movement, and eventually it can even be seen as like the gay rights movement. And during writing Daredevil and showing that as a person with disabilities, Spider-Man is life as a teenager. The Fantastic
Four,
the first
black superhero.
Yeah, and I mean, he's got there's that famous not article, but his little
soapbox.
his little soapbox thing where he talks about why he created Black Panther and why we have to fight back against Nazis and racists. And that was like 40 years ago.
Yeah, he's an important individual to the comic book world, and we just lost
and to culture in general.
Yeah, and we lost another person who remembers actual Nazis.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Because I mean, there's always that famous story where oh man, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee and a bunch of like 3 men burst into their office and demanded to know why they were writing Captain America fighting the Nazis. And they just came down. They didn't know they were Jewish. And Jack Kirby came down, was like, fought them off in the lobby of wherever they were working.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I was just thinking, Stan Lee's basically like the Pope. Like, in that he was this omnipresent force that we all kind of knew about.
Yeah.
And he was very tied to one thing in this regard. It was comics. And he was kind of like a religious figure at that point, because he was just, the face of it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's time to break down our big discussion topic for the week, because I feel like this is going to take some time, and I wanted to have this be more of a celebration of Stan Lee instead of us being sad. And we got the heartfelt stuff out of the way, and there's always more that we can say about him. But I thought it would be fun because Stan Lee in the past 20 years has been defined by one thing other than the fact that he's created a bunch of characters, and that has been his always reliable cameos in every Marvel movie. Whether it was created by Disney and Marvel or not, he found his way into their films.
And he did get to shoot the Infinity War Part 2.
Yeah, they filmed, like, he's still got some coming out, because they filmed, when they knew that his health was failing, they filmed, like, I think 10 all at once.
Yeah.
So he's got his Captain Marvel one, and he's got his Infinity War Part 2 one. Those are locked in.
Which I would say you're about to, that's another thing that's going to be changed forever, right?
Yeah.
That this whole case has one thing in common. No matter what, there was a Stan Lee cameo.
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm going to post this link in chat.
Yeah, I think we should get Mark Maron to play Stan Lee.
So I'm posting a link in chat to a YouTube video that includes every cameo up until 2018, and then we will manually go through 2018s. And then we are going to break down and look at all of his cameos and come up with the NOLA Nerdcast definitive ranking of Stan Lee cameos. So if you'd like to follow along, because the video breaks it down chronologically. So if you'd like to follow along, please do. But we will be pausing it after each cameo to discuss where we're going to put it on the list.
Okay.
So do you guys have the video pulled up?
I have the video, and I have my list already numbered and ready to go.
Oh, so you have your list.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to make a group list.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that.
So you can corroborate and interject at any time, Chris.
Sure. On this list,
but you guys have access to the doc that we're going to be adding to. So it starts in 1989 with the trial of the Incredible Hulk, and he is a juror. There's not much to it. It's a blink and you'll miss it thing where he's just one of the jurors.
I don't even have it on my list.
Yeah, I feel like it's not controversial to say it's bottom tier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think there's 3 tiers of cameos. There's the shots of him looking at stuff. There's the one-liners, and then there's the actual scenes.
Yeah,
and you'll notice that a lot of the early ones are he pops up. Yeah, and doesn't do anything. And that's why a lot of the early ones are going to be lower. And then as time progressed and the Marvel movies became bigger, they had more fun with it.
Yeah.
So the next one actually is one of my favorites.
It's from the 1994 Spider-Man the Animated Series.
1994 Spider-Man Animated Series, where Peter Parker meets Stan Lee, and Stan Lee thinks he's going crazy because Spider-Man's in front of him, and then they go web swinging.
Yeah, you know what the real thing this tells me is how terrible the animation was at the end of the series.
True.
This was the finale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was the same with X-Men. The last season, they just kind of like, I think they switched animation houses to Korea at the time.
They just gave up. They're like,
and they did not care anymore.
No, that's why they sell like Animaniacs as a volume, because the last couple of seasons are garbage.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, go on.
But the scene is still great, and that's what matters.
Yeah. I also want to point out from this video, I don't have like Mallrats or anything that's television. These are
that's fine. We're going to be adding it into it.
Okay, good.
So speaking of, next is Mallrats, which was for a lot of people the first time Stan Lee was a cameo in something.
Yeah, like
Jason Lee's character, because for those that don't know, it followed a huge comic book nerd, and him running into Stan Lee was such a shock. And of course, the first thing he asks is about the Thing's dick, and does the Thing have a penis?
Yeah.
And this started Kevin Smith's friendship with Stan Lee, and to the point where when they heard that Stan Lee was having problems, Kevin Smith offered to take him in.
Yeah, with his family. Like Kevin Smith's love of Stan Lee is
they should have
long running. But yeah, Mallrats, I think I put it under the 1994 Spider-Man series, but definitely above Trial of the Incredible Hulk. Are we in agreement so far?
Yeah,
so far.
That's my.
We'll have to start debating once there's a disagreement. But right now, our list is 94 Spider-Man, Mallrats, Trial of the Incredible Hulk. I think that's a safe, fair assessment.
Yeah.
Okay. After Mallrats, we have the first big superhero movie that he cameoed in, and that's 2000's original X-Men film. Now, this is he's just in the shot, and it was the scene where the senator walks up out of the ocean and Stanley's buying an hot dog.
Yeah, and this is the one that I didn't even know that happened. Like,
yeah, because we weren't conditioned to look for the cameos yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So unless someone told you, you would have not realized that was Stan Lee. It was just an old dude.
Too. It's not even a featured extra. Like in the Spider-Man movies, he's usually saving someone from debris. I noticed, like he's being a little minor hero up to the side, But this is him just gawking.
Yeah,
and there's no reason to notice him.
Why is he even in this movie?
Yeah. I'm looking at chat, and Dan said he didn't realize Hulk had a movie that old. I believe it was just a TV movie related to the old TV show.
It was, and it had Thor in it also, and it was great.
In the
okay.
Oh, and what's his name? John Rhys Davies is the Kingpin.
Okay.
Wow.
So next up on the list,
I didn't give you my ranking.
Oh, sorry, sir.
I have this ranked at 27 out of 35.
Okay. See, I haven't assigned numbers yet because we'll be shuffling things.
Yeah.
So right now we have X-Men in between Mallrats and Trial of the Incredible Hulk.
Right.
Any disagreements?
No.
No.
All right. After X-Men, we have the Spider-Man, which is another blink and you'll miss it thing where he is in the crowd when there's an explosion happening.
Yeah.
So, but I'd actually put that. Now the question is, does it go below or above X-Men? Because he does save a little girl in that scene.
I have it below X-Men.
What do you guys say?
I'd put it over just because he does more.
Yeah.
And I'm inclined to agree with them. I mean, Chris, you obviously have your own, but would you agree with that assessment that because he actually does something in the scene, it puts it slightly above it?
Isn't sure. Campbell in that movie too?
Now, here is my favorite of the early ones, where it was the scene in Daredevil where he gets saved by young Matt Murdock and just looks completely shocked, and his facial expression in it makes me giggle.
This was the year that I started noticing him being as that's the first time, or the second one I remember literally just seeing him. I don't know if this is an exact chronological order because Hulk is right after that. It's like the same year, right? And both of them, I was like, oh, there he is. They're literally pointing him out to you. They're not hiding him. This is like, here's Stan Lee. Yeah, so I like this one. I think it goes over most of the one. It's below Mallrats, obviously.
Easily above Spider-Man and X-Men. And probably the only time Daredevil will ever go above Spider-Man and X-Men.
I had this at number 6.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really like this one. I like the Hulk one, though, should be the next one. And I like that one a lot. That's like,
oh, yeah, that's the Hulk one because it's him and Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, having a conversation. Security needs to get beefed up around it. Yeah, I love that one.
Because it's his first, like, true scene.
Yeah, yeah.
I had this at number 10.
Yeah.
So the question is for us then, both above or below Mallrats?
Above.
That's rough.
What?
Yeah, I think it's below Mallrats.
It's below Mallrats for me. But, yeah. So, average it out.
Yeah.
It's just Hulk. All right. Next, Spider-Man 2. Again, him literally just pulling someone out of the way as stuff falls.
Yeah.
So because it's literally a repeat of what he did in Spider-Man 1, for that reason, I put it below Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still above X-Men for me.
One, since there was any argument about whatever, you know. I
agree.
All right, next. Hey, Chris, jump in chat. Make sure I'm not missing anything. So next up is 2005's Fantastic Four, and it's one of his next actual scenes where he welcomes Reed Richards back to the Baxter building and gives him his mail. Nothing particularly funny, but it's more it's him actually doing something.
It's like a meta thing too, because it's like he's like talking to his own character and saying,
yeah, as in like welcome home.
Yeah.
So gut reaction, I put it below Daredevil, but above the stood and watched of Spider-Man 1, 2, and X-Men.
That's about right.
Chris?
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
All right. Next, X-Men The Last Stand, where Jean Grey is going crazy and Stanley is watering his yard and the water in the hose goes up and he stares at it in shock.
This is near the bottom for me.
I hate X3 so much that it makes me not want to put it up anywhere, but I still think, yeah, where you're putting it right now, like just above the other.
I'm putting it above original X-Men, but below Spider-Man 2, because again, it's him not doing anything. He doesn't save anybody. It's just him looking up at water.
It kind of sucks.
In a horrible movie.
Now, Spider-Man 3 is one of his first like true, I think, wonderful ones, where he meets Peter Parker in Times Square as they look at Spider-Man receiving the key to the city. He mentions like sometimes it only takes one man to make a difference.
Yeah, which I think is like a significantly better version of what they were trying to do in that Fantastic Four one, where there's like a meta acknowledgement. He's talking to his own character and getting to like approve of his behavior sort of thing, and also send a message. You know, and I like it better than most of these, you know.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is the best one.
Hey, I'm going to disagree with you on that, but I do say so far of everything we've gone over, it's the top.
Okay.
Would you?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So far, it's number one. Let's see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
And see, here's why we have to come up to some agreements, because we're all going to have different things we look for. For me, I like the funnier stuff.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Well, Spider-Man 3 is the most heartfelt of them. So it comes down to what you prefer. So Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, it's a funny one where he is trying to go to this Sue and Reed's wedding and is very surprised he's not on the list. Insinuating that he created them, he should definitely be on the list.
Yeah, because this time he's not the male guy, he's Stan Lee.
Yeah, he's actually Stan Lee. It's the first time he's playing himself.
And no, it's a pretty great. I might put it, let's see.
I'd say above Mallrats.
Yeah.
Chris?
I have it below Spider-Man 2. You
have it below Spider-Man 2, where he did nothing?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one.
All right.
He actually did something on this one, and it was funny.
No, I don't think it was that funny.
Wow. Oh, Chris.
Well, it's no Iron Man funny, but like, you know.
You don't want to know where I put Iron Man.
Oh, Chris.
Jesus.
Chris, is this going to be like a Cars 3 scenario?
No. I already told you what number 1 is.
I know. All right, so speaking of Iron Man, that's where we're going next, which is where he gets mistaken for Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, I just adore that one intensely.
Now, the question is he actually supposed to be Hugh Hefner, or is he Stan Lee mistaken as Hugh Hefner?
It sure looks like he's Hugh Hefner.
he does look like he's in a smoking jacket with a pipe, you know. But I don't know that he's actually supposed to be him, or if the joke is that Tony doesn't care enough to stop and actually find out who he really is.
Yeah,
you know, because there's in the Iron Man 2, they do it again. He's mistaken for somebody else. Larry King. They literally call him.
Yeah.
To his face.
Now the
slightly better than Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
So do we put it above? So I'm automatically putting it above the he did nothing tier.
Yeah.
I'm gonna list these tiers. It's called the stood there tier. There's gonna be top tier, and then there's gonna be mid tier. So I think mid tier starts with Daredevil.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
So right now for top tier, we have Spider-Man 3, 1994 animated series, Rise of the Silver Surfer, Mallrat. Actually, I'm going. Ooh, that's a. Well, when you break it down like that, I don't know if I count Fantastic Four as top tier.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move mid tier to that. Okay, there we go. So the question is, we agree that this is a mid-tier scenario, right? Mm-hmm. Is it above or below Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer with him being Stan Lee at the wedding?
Above.
Okay.
Is that what we're still talking about? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Hugh Hefner, yes.
It's the top of the mid.
Okay, there we go. Next up is 2008's Incredible Hulk, where he is the guy that gets hurt drinking the soda.
Yeah, he's actually a plot point in that one.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a very.
But he doesn't have a line.
I'm putting it's in the stood there category.
Yeah,
it's top of the stood there.
It's the.
I actually have this at my number 13.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd you have it?
13.
All right.
But I agree with Josh that it should be the top of the stood there because it was a plot point, but he did just stand there.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to when we finish this list to compare it to Chris's and see how different it was before the group got involved.
All right.
All right. Next, after that, we have Iron Man 2, where he's Larry King.
I think it's just like the Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 situations. It's
right.
The same thing, but like I thought it's hilarious, but it's repeating the same joke. So it goes below Iron Man at the very least.
It's second from the bottom. I'm
going to put it at the bottom of the mid tier because it is funny and it is a scene, but it's a repeat.
Yeah.
And rehashes just aren't that great.
But Iron Man 2, right? Like,
yeah,
it's not a bad.
Next up is, I think, a really good one, which is Thor, where Stan Lee is the truck driver trying to pull Thor's hammer out.
Yeah,
my note says hillbilly.
Yeah, Stan Lee's hillbilly.
I'd actually put that the lowest on the top tier for me.
Chris?
I have it at 23.
You have it mid tier.
23 of 35, yeah.
Okay. Josh?
I like the top.
I'd agree with bottom of the top tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either bottom of the top or top of the mid.
Yeah, one of the two. It won't really matter at the end.
No, it doesn't. But okay. Next up, for those still following with us, I'm going to take this time to break it down for those that are just joining.
It is very complicated, so you better.
I just posted the link in chat again. We are going through all of Stan Lee's cameos and ranking them in real time until we come up with a best of Stan Lee cameo list. Figured why not focus on all of the great stuff he's done, and one of his best things in recent memory has been his cameos. Next up, we have Captain America, the First Avenger, where he is in the audience and he mentions that he thought he'd be taller because Stan Lee mistakes someone for Captain America. It's okay.
Yeah. I have it 21 of 35.
So I'll put it. It's not a stood there cameo, so by default it's mid tier. But I'm going to put it under Iron Man 2.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I think I like the Civil War cameo better.
Yeah,
I like the one,
hands down.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of, This next one is easily top tier, and if you disagree, we're gonna fight. The Amazing Spider-Man, the Lizard Spider-Man fight. While Stan Lee is listening to music in the library.
So far,
this is number 2 for me.
I died. It was my number 2 too. When I came up with like a top 5,
it was the best. It's the best.
It's so good.
It's better than the movie it's in.
Yes, I agree to
that. Yeah, that was my number 3. When I was
Kogasu in chat says he liked the Iron Man ones because they end up paying off in Civil War.
Oh, I didn't even care.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we can agree that right now, it's the top of the top tier. I know Chris doesn't agree because Spider-Man 3 is his overall.
It's number 2 though, so
yeah. So
yeah, it
averages out right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the Avengers, which he's part of the scrolling through all the TV channels, and he's a guy playing chess, talking about superheroes in New York. Come on.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
I have this.
It's mid.
Yeah.
The problem with my list is a lot of these are just okay, so it's just kind of guessing like how much marginally better an okay thing is from another okay thing.
Well, that's why I like discussing it.
So I have him at 26 of 35.
So like my gut reaction says I put it below Hulk's, but above Daredevil's.
Yeah, that makes sense to me because the Hulk is clearly better because it's him and,
Lou Ferrigno, and it's a funny line. But the Avengers, it's a meta commentary.
Yeah, and it's just him by himself, and it's thrown in there because it felt like they couldn't find a place for him in the movie, and so they made up this little denouement scene to shove him in there, and it feels like an afterthought, which is strange because you'd think Joss would have been a little bit cleverer about it, but it just doesn't feel quite as thought out as something like the Hulk stuff really seems on purpose,
Right. So next up, we go back to the cartoon world with Ultimate Spider-Man and the scene where Mary Jane, Harry Osborn, and Peter Parker are confronted in school by the janitor, Stan Lee.
Yeah. Well, I love this one because of how he talks in it. He's got a very dramatic, he's saying Stan Lee stuff, like, is your pulse quickening? Shit like
and
that.
they even say that's our janitor Stan. Like it's very on the nose, and I think it's because it came right on the heels of Amazing Spider-Man, where he was like working at a school.
Yeah.
It's still mid-tier at best.
Yeah.
So the question is, because mid-tier is going to be the most stacked, obviously. So the question is, where in mid-tier do you put it?
I like it better than. I'd say it's above Hulk, but not above Mallrats for me.
Chris, Josh,
I haven't seen it, so
yeah, I skipped over it. Like I said, I just focused only on movies.
That's fair.
So I don't know.
All right. So next up, we have Iron Man 3, and this is the one where he wins bingo. Oh no, not wins bingo. He's holding up a 10. I don't actually know the context.
I think he's at a beauty competition.
That's it. Yeah, this is basically a stood there.
Yeah, that goes to the bottom tier.
I'm gonna put it below Incredible Hulk, but above Spider-Man 1.
Okay.
I gave it's 29 out of 35 for me.
Yeah. Next up, Thor: The Dark World, where he's in the insane asylum and the guy's trying to explain portals, and he just looks at him because you think it's a class at first. Then you realize they're in the nut house.
Yeah.
And Stanley asks for his shoe back.
Yeah. Can I have my shoe back? I love this one.
I think top mid tier.
Yeah, I think it's so the question is, where do you put it compared to Thor?
I actually think this one I liked a little bit better than the first one.
Chris, did you put this one above or below Thor?
I agree with that.
Above Thor 1. Let me see. I think it's below.
Okay, Josh?
Yeah, I agree.
With who?
Placement.
You said upper mid?
Yeah, you said top.
Okay.
Top of the mid tier.
All right, next, after Thor Dark World, we have 2013's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. cameo.
Yeah, that was where it seemed like he was reprising his Heft role. He shows up
where he's just, well, it's either like the Heft role or the role from Guardians where he's just a Mac daddy and he's reprimanding Coulson.
Yeah.
So the question is it a good enough scene? Like, it is a scene, so it defaults out of stood there category.
Yeah.
But is it a good one?
It's not that good.
It's not. I want to put it, my gut says below Fantastic Four, but above Daredevil because he spoke.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Chris?
I didn't count it, so I don't.
Right, because of TV. All right. So after Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which, remember that show?
I liked it a lot.
So Captain America Winter Soldier is one of his most famous ones.
Yeah. I am so fired.
Steve Rogers steals the uniform, and Stan Lee is the guard working at the World War II Museum.
Yeah. Bottom of top tier.
Yeah.
I have it at number 3.
Yeah, it deserves. It's better. Yeah, it's great, and it's not that long. It's just great.
Yeah, it's just good enough where Captain's like, I need a suit, and then Stanley's like, I'm so fired.
Yeah.
And next up, we have another funny one, but not because of anything he did. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy where Rocket Raccoon calls him out on being a creepy old man.
Yeah.
I think I liked it because it was a funny scene, but Stan Lee himself didn't do much, so I'm going to put it at the top of stood there.
Yeah. That's
I have it at 16.
Josh?
I agree. Top is stood there because he didn't talk.
All right.
No talkie.
Next, we have, as this plays out, 2014's Big Hero 6, which I think is one of his most underrated cameos.
Yeah.
Well, where he comes in and he's an actual superhero. He's basically himself. And then he bonds with his son over the fact that they never wash their underwear.
Yeah.
Chris, did you include this one?
I did not, but I love this scene a lot.
So I think we can all agree it's top tier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the question is, do we put it above or below 1994 Spider-Man animated series?
Below.
Yeah,
okay.
There's something.
So it's top tier, but it's bottom of top tier. Gotcha.
Because there's something too nice about him getting to meet Spider-Man.
Yeah. So after that, we have the Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is basically a stood there. He's in the crowd during graduation and he sees he hears Peter Parker's name called and he goes, I think I know that guy.
Yeah. Which is fun. It's just not, Yeah. I'd say it's the like.
Do you put it above or below Guardians of the Galaxy in the stood there category?
I put it above Guardians. I have it at 15.
Yeah. I'd say it's a little bit better than that one.
Okay. So we have Amazing Spider-Man 2 beating out Guardians of the Galaxy.
Which also not going to happen on any other list.
Right? Now, 2015 is one of his biggest, most enjoyed ones. And that's the Avengers Age of Ultron, where he's a veteran who insists that he gets to drink Thor's alcohol and then walks out stumbling, yelling Excelsior.
Yeah, this was actually going to end up being in my top 5, so I have to.
Oh, I think we can all agree it's top tier, right, Chris?
It's number 4 for me.
So the question then it becomes above or below Spider-Man 3?
Below. For Chris.
Doug?
Below.
Okay, above or below Captain America Winter Soldier?
That's the one I'm struggling with.
Below.
Below.
Okay, so I say it goes below in between Winter Soldier and 1994.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, again, the only time Age of Ultron will ever be considered top tier.
Yeah.
Boy, I got to tell you, I have never 180'd my opinion on a film more than when I tried to rewatch Age of Ultron.
Yeah, that's
I haven't tried to rewatch it in a long time.
It's right up there with Transformers 2, where I thought in the theater I really liked it, And then I tried to rewatch it, and I was like, oh no, baby, what is he doing?
Which is ironic because I think the first Avengers that he did is one of the most rewatchable of the entire like of all the Marvel movies. I think I can watch that one whenever the fuck. That and Winter Soldier, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Winter Soldier, so good. Okay, after Age of Ultron, we have 2015's Agent Carter, where it's basically a stood there. He sits down and asks Tony Stark's dad for the sports page.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So where on the stood there category do we put that? I know Chris didn't add it at all.
Yeah. I mean, I loved Agent Carter, but I don't even remember this one. So I can't put it much. I mean, like, yeah.
I say
like above
gut
the
reaction.
You know?
I put it because at least he talks.
Yeah.
Was he not an X2?
He was not an X2.
Oh, weird. Okay.
At that time, I think it was more just a weird relationship between Fox and Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, this is tough. Obviously above the Spider-Mans.
Yeah.
And above the X-Men's because he spoke. It's above Iron Man 3, but is it above the plot point but non-talking Incredible Hulk? I say yes. And then it comes down to, is it above or below the speaking role of Amazing Spider-Man 2 or the humor of Guardians of the Galaxy?
I don't think it's above Guardians. I think it's below, that, and above the Hulk.
Agent Carter. Hold on. So I saw you added one that we missed. I'm checking it out right now. Thor Ragnarok's.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten there yet because this ended before the final round of Stanley cameos.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we talked about those when we got to it. Is that all of it for?
No, I'm still going.
Okay.
I don't remember his cameo in Thor Ragnarok, so I'm refreshing my mind.
That's Thor's hair in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, he's got the cyborg arms.
Okay.
It's actually a pretty good top tier one, like pretty obviously.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
All right. So after Agent Carter, we have Deadpool's very famous one where he is the strip club DJ. Oh no, I'm sorry. Before that, it's another great one, Ant-Man, where he's ad-libbing to the guy's recollection of what happened.
Oh yeah.
Where he goes, hold on. What was the guy? Luis.
Oh, yeah. He's like,
where he goes crazy stupid, just yelling crazy stupid in Luis's voice. Just tickles me pink. I don't think it's top tier, but I think it's upper mid tier.
Yeah, upper mid tier.
I want to put it right below Dark World, maybe, or right,
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in between Thor and Thor 1.
Yeah,
I have it at 18.
Okay, I think that'll. So next we have 2016's Deadpool, where he plays the strip club DJ, saying "Welcome Chastity to the stage."
Yeah.
Which so simple, so quick, but so amazing because it's Stan Lee as a strip club DJ.
Yeah. Top of the mid, maybe?
Yeah, top of the mid.
I think so. Chris, where'd you put it?
14.
Okay.
Above Ant-Man.
Yeah.
But
after that, we have Civil War, which is where he gets revenge on Tony for never getting his name right by calling him Tony Stank.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think
Tony Stank. Yes, he's here. This is Tony Stank.
So I think that's a top tier. What do you think, Chris?
I have it at 12.
Okay, so you put it mid tier. So what do we say, top or mid tier? So is it bottom of the top or top of the mid?
I think it's. Oh man, I don't know. I might put it above Big Hero 6, to be honest with you. But bottom of the top, I guess.
All right. Boom. Next up, Tony Stank.
Civil War, not Iron Man 3.
We have another stood there. It's X-Men. I got to tell you, the Fox films outside of Deadpool never utilized Stan Lee well. He stood there, and it's him watching the missiles go up.
Yeah.
I have this dead last.
It's Iron Man 3. It's a...
I have it up. I'm going to put it above Last Stand personally. Correct me if I'm wrong, because at least in Last Stand, or it feels more. It's a better shot with the reflection of the missiles in his aviators.
Yeah.
Like it's a better shot cameo. It's just still not a good cameo.
Yeah.
And with that, we have all three X-Men movies back to back to back in the bottom tier.
Yeah.
Makes you sad he didn't show up in First Class, because that was in the era where he was creating the X-Men.
Yeah.
That would have been a really cool one.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
All right, then we have Doctor Strange, where he's on a bus during the big Inception fight, and he's thinking it's hilarious. Whatever he's reading is hilarious.
Yeah, he's like, I think he's like maybe reading a comic book. I don't know what it was like. It looked funny. Anyway,
my gut reaction is it's another Stood There.
Yeah,
it's a funnier one.
Stood There, yeah.
So I'm gonna put it at the top of Stood There.
Stood There.
I have it at number 9.
Do you?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like it.
Well, I mean, so do you think we should put it higher up in the mid tiers then, Chris?
Because
I mean, just because you have your own list doesn't mean you don't get input in this one.
It depends where you guys feel it falls. Honestly, because I think it's very funny. But you know, I'll see. I want to see what everyone else has to say about it.
Well, thank you for correcting that, Doug. I had put Iron Man 3 instead of Civil War.
Yeah.
So, do we want to take him out of Stood There and put him in
Put him below Iron Man 2.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to put it above.
Avengers, I think. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's better than the one from the Avengers.
Yeah, I agree. But is it better than the Baxter Building?
It might be better than that too. It's just not better than this right now.
Oh, it's in the mid tier.
Yeah.
Actually, Iron Man 2, I'm moving to Stood There because he literally did just stand there.
Yeah, he's standing there and they just say, what was it? Fucking Larry King.
Yeah. All right. Next up. You know what, Julian? I thought I knew that. In case you didn't know, in Apocalypse, that was his wife with him in the scene.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was his real wife.
So next up, we have Deadpool 2. He didn't show up in the movie, but he was part of the teaser, which was very meta, where he goes, "I like your suit," and Deadpool goes, "Zip it, Stanley."
Yeah. And keeps running. Yeah.
I don't think it's as good as Deadpool's.
No.
But the question is, where does it belong in mid tier? Because it's definitely more than a Stood There.
I like it better. I think it belongs in the mid tier, and I like it a little bit better than the first Thor. Honestly, it's in that area, like around.
Chris, did you put it?
No,
you didn't put it at all.
No.
All right.
It was a teaser.
Yeah.
After that, we have Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which is one of his most elaborate. Which is him with the Watchers.
Yeah.
And this is where people created a bunch of fan theories where he is actually cognizant that he is a cameo in all of these movies because it's him mentioning, and then I was a FedEx employee referencing his Civil War cameo.
Yeah. And I think this is my number 2 on my list. So I would put it as high as you can.
Chris?
I have it at number 5.
So we can all agree it's top tier. Josh?
Yeah, it's a good one.
So then we just need to figure out where. So above or below library scene in Spider-Man?
I had it just over that in mind.
Yeah.
But I don't.
I say in between Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man.
I'll agree with that.
All right. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Next.
It's a long trailer for the Defenders.
Yes, this is his it's not really a it's basically him pulling a Matthew McConaughey Lincoln commercial where he's just driving and he's talking about the Defenders while footage rolls. I'm going to say gut reaction bottom half of the mid tier. He's talking, he's giving a lot of insight, but it's not particularly interesting, funny, or dynamic. It's more than stood.
I didn't even consider this one. This was like disqualifying for me because it's not a cameo and it's not in anything. It's
so. Do you guys want to just skip this one then?
Yes.
Yeah. Because he's like the lead in this commercial. And
yeah.
Isn't like it's not like a bunch of Defenders. It's not like they did a teaser where the Defenders are doing a scene.
Okay, you're right. All right. Next up, we have the Spider-Man Homecoming one, where Stan Lee is one of the neighbors yelling from his window that Spider-Man is being a bully. And then he ends up hitting on the woman across the street from him.
Yeah. I like this one a lot.
That's top tier, middle top tier.
I put it bottom top tier. Chris, what do you say?
I don't really love this one. I have it down at 24.
I love this one, but
the question is, do you like it better than Strip Club DJ Stan Lee?
No. I prefer Strip Club DJ Stan Lee.
Josh?
Buffalo Civil War.
So you like it better than Strip Club DJ?
Yeah. Because there wasn't a...
I like it a little bit better than the Strip Club one, but
here comes Candy.
So we're kind of split. So we have like a...
Because I put it mid-tier.
Yeah.
The more I think about it, like I don't think it's a top tier one. It's a good one. Like I personally think it fits in between Thor: Dark World and Ant-Man.
Well, I put it like let's split it and call it below. Yeah, you know what it is. The more I think about it, it's not as good as the Dark World one. It's like right below that.
Okay. So Spider-Man Homecoming, although it is the nope, never mind. I'm a liar. Next up we have that was it for that video, which means we have to go with the ones we haven't seen yet that aren't on that list. Let me pull up the old list. So we have Thor Ragnarok is the next one.
Okay.
Which I think we can agree is a top tier one where his bionic arm gives Thor a haircut.
Yeah, it's good.
Chris?
I have it down at 22.
Really?
Yeah.
Chris is just brutal.
This was the beginning of the era where I was kind of thinking maybe we shouldn't have Stan Lee doing this because I didn't think this one was particularly great.
I still think it's better than the Big Hero 6 one. I don't think it's as good as the animated one, but that's where I would put it.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you guys, and I think it's interesting that the best part of the first two Thor movies was Stan Lee's cameo.
Yeah, right.
All right. After Thor Ragnarok, we have Black Panther, which is not much more involved than a stood there, but it's still mid-tier.
He's a gambler who takes his chips away from
yeah, because he knows something big's about to go down once T'Challa met the agent.
Yeah.
Frodo. Agent Frodo.
I have this at number 20.
Agent Frodo.
Agent Bilbo, whatever.
Yeah. I would put that somewhere in the mid, probably. It's just...
I put it below, obviously, definitely below Doctor Strange's.
Yeah. Above Fantastic Four seems fair.
Okay.
Because it's more amusing than the Welcome Back to the Baxter Building.
Correct. After Black Panther, we have Avengers Infinity War. And his cameo was as the bus driver of Spider-Man's bus when he was needing a diversion to escape to go save the day.
Yeah, that's right.
It was okay.
It's an okay mid one.
I honestly put it below Black Panther.
Yeah.
And above Fantastic Four again. What about you, Chris?
I have it at 17.
Yeah, that's all right.
So above Black Panther. Below the first Guardians.
Finally, for mainline MCU, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp.
This is my favorite, weirdly enough, because of the line. I just think it's the most perfect comedic line he's had in any of them, which is...
where he sees his car shrink and he goes, well, I had a lot of fun in the 60s, but it's catching up to me now.
Yeah, because it's a perfect meta commentary on himself on the being in his own superheroes movies.
And also just the commentary on the 60s drug lifestyle.
Yeah, and I love that so much that for me it's top tier. I don't know if you guys agree.
Now, I know Chris would probably say no. I put it in 32.
I have it at number 8, actually.
Okay, so good. We all agree it's top tier then.
Yeah.
Now, if Doug puts it at number 1, but I feel, it's under Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I expected everybody else to put it under Guardians too. Like, that's fair to me. For me, it's my favorite. So
now there's one more that most people forget, and it's his most recent.
I saw that listed there. I didn't see that movie, so
I am going to talk while I send you guys the clip so you can watch it real quick and see what I mean. Okay.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
Because once you see this, it's so good.
Is the movie called Teen Titans Go to the Movies?
Yes, Teen Titans Go to the Movies. Hold on, I'm pulling up it right now for you.
Oh, man.
And I'm sending it to you. And I'm going to put it in chat for those that haven't seen it. Chris has seen it, right?
I saw it. I have it at number 7.
This is hands down my number 1 because it is so ridiculous, so fourth wall breaking. So I'm going to let you guys finish it. It's only 40 seconds.
Hold on. You'll probably get some audio.
Oh, man, I love this. That is where the Animaniacs live. Ooh, it's that car from that car movie.
Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see your face in real time.
This place is amazing, yo. They're really making movies about every superhero. It's time they make one about me. Come on. Kate Wilson soundstage must be around here somewhere. Hey, everybody, look at me. I'm Stan Lee doing my subtle cameo. Excuse me, Mr. Stan. This is the DC movie. Oh, gee, I gotta get out of here. Oh,
okay. All right. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And then he comes back later during the final chase scene. And he jumps on their getaway car and he yells, "I don't care if this is DC. I just love cameos."
It's very cute.
I this for me is easily a top tier, and I personally put it at number 1. I will understand if you guys disagree.
Below Guardians for me because of the Watcher stuff. It's just
that's fair. I will agree with that because it's the fact no one saw that coming. No one expected a Stan Lee cameo in a DC animated movie.
Yeah, and to be that intense about it, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's so good. However, that said, that is all of them.
That's a lot of movies.
So
surprised me because I wasn't expecting that number 1 to stay there. I really thought Guardians was going to be the more popular one.
So now that we're done, we're going to go down the list and read it out for everyone and then call it a night because it's almost it's a longer show than we've ever done, but it's the Stan Lee Memorial Show, so whatever. Amazing Spider-Man at number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Spider-Man 3, Captain America Winter Soldier, Avengers Age of Ultron, 1994 animated Spider-Man series, Thor Ragnarok, Big Hero 6, Captain America Civil War, and that's for the top tier. Those are the 11 in the top tier. Starting with mid-tier, we have Deadpool, Thor Dark World, Spider-Man Homecoming, Ant-Man, Deadpool 2 teaser trailer, Thor 1, Iron Man 1, Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer, Mallrats, Ultimate Spider-Man animated series, The First Hulk, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, Fantastic Four 1, The Avengers, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., And that is the final part of mid-tier. Finally, the stood there category, Daredevil at 29, then Iron Man 2, then Amazing Spider-Man 2, then Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain America First Avengers, Agent Carter, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 3, Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, X-Men Apocalypse, X-Men Last Stand, X-Men, and Trial of the Incredible Hulk.
It's kind of weird he didn't have a cameo in X2.
It really is. X2 and First Class and Days of Future Past.
Yeah, it's weird.
So he only appeared in half the X-Men movies. But I think what's really interesting is Amazing Spider-Man's cameo was number 1, and Amazing Spider-Man 2's cameo was all the way down to 31.
Yeah. Basically, it's weird because like he did 2 of his better cameos in the 2 worst Spider-Man. Like
yeah, Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man. Although I will fight to defend Amazing Spider-Man. I thought it was way better than people give it credit for. Amazing Spider-Man 2, not so much.
Yeah. But yeah, Spider-Man 3, probably my least favorite of the entire franchise of any of the Spider-Man movies, and still one of the better cameos.
You didn't like emo Spider-Man? I didn't like Venom or the. No, I didn't like the.
I didn't like any of it.
Literally.
Anyway,
you didn't like the dance one?
I thought that was a fun exercise, doing an organic top tier list as we went.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I want to give a shout out to whoever made that super cut of Stan Lee cameos chronologically. You made our job a lot easier. Although I do wish you would update it for 2018 because you missed like 6 things.
He's very busy.
So, you're fired.
Yeah.
But Stan Lee will miss you. Your contributions will live on. And I'm sure Wizard World, and you know what? Wizard World's 50th anniversary is this year. I guarantee Marvel's going to go all out with the Stan Lee Memorial or something for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Not Wizard World. I'm sorry. San Diego Comic-Con is its 50th year this year.
Definitely.
There is no way they don't do a huge Stan Lee blowout. Even if it's not put on by Marvel, there will be some massive Stan Lee tributes.
Do you think they're just going to stop with cameos altogether, or that they'll come up?
I hope they do, because the worst thing they can do is what they did with Star Wars and like digitally recreate a dead person just for a cameo.
No, I don't mean that. I meant like maybe pick somebody else to give them.
Oh, you mean like Agent Coulson?
Yeah, Coulson.
Why doesn't Deadpool just pop up?
Well, I thought about while we were
actually that Deadpool would be great now that he's back with Marvel. He could do it.
He could be in all of them.
Yeah,
or the Watcher. Just him just watching something at all times.
Or I would like the zombie Deadpool head to show up as a background character.
Oh my god!
I was thinking about Kevin Smith, the other guy who does cameo things.
Oh, actually, I wouldn't be Chris. I wouldn't be against Kevin Smith doing cameos.
And like, I love Stan.
And what else is he doing nowadays?
Yeah, like 200,000 podcasts, and that's about it.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm Matt.
I'm Chris.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Doug.
And this has been a very special episode of the NOLAnerds. We will see you next week. Actually, yeah, we will. Unless, guys, next week's Thanksgiving.
21st.
The day before Thanksgiving.
We're the day before Thanksgiving.
So I don't know if you guys are going to be free. We'll play it by ear. We'll see how it goes.
Be a game time decision.
I'll probably be free.
We'll see you guys next week.
All right, bye, guys.
Later.